Hi, I'm Donn T, and this is Ades. So my musical influences were Nina Simone, Roberta Flack, Stevie Wonder, Phoebe Snow, and I would say Phoebe Snow in particular. I remember the first time I heard her music. It was an album my parents had, her first album, and she was a very strong lyricist, but she wasn't easily categorized, and when she came out, people didn't know she was being played on R&B radio. And what I learned later, because I met one of her managers, was that they didn't quite know what to do with her or how to sell her, because she was, this little Jewish woman who was, at the time, very soulful in a way that felt new to music, and somewhat controversial, and for, I guess the 70s, that was, especially for a woman, that was unusual. So just hearing that story and hearing stories, like Nina Simone and people that don't quite fit, I've always identified with the idea of not quite fitting into a genre. I'm coming at the music industry, or into the music industry right now, with this EP, Grandmaphonica, and my upcoming album, Flight of the Donn T, from the position of having been a songwriter and singer in TV and film, having a lot of songs placed that way, and that calls for a lot of flexibility. People sometimes want to know, what genre is it? And of course it's soulful. What I'm doing is soulful and it's eclectic, but I'm a genre bender. And I am that way because I've had to sometimes write songs out of a category. It would be pop, or it's electronic, it's R&B, or it's unplugged, and it sounds a little country. It's rock. So I feel really comfortable in bending genres. Yeah, my sound, in terms of a category of music, it's soulful. I like to think of it as eclectic soul, which is extremely broad. I have a pretty non-traditional voice. I'm aware of that. It is soulful, but there's a folk element, there's a jazz element. It's rich, and so yeah. You learn your lesson slowly. I actually, in terms of bucket lists, I am very present. I've always been that sort of artist and there are a lot of singer-songwriters who, like me, have either written for other artists or done a lot of things in addition to being a performer. And it might feel or seem odd to someone else, but I've always felt like I was doing, at the time, exactly what I should be doing. So I was never writing for artists and feeling like, wow, but I have to, it should be me. I thoroughly enjoy being behind the scenes and writing for artists. I thoroughly enjoy the experience of not being on camera singing and having my music appear behind a scene, and I absolutely enjoy being in front of the camera. So, but just to throw something out there in terms of what I would love to perform in Asia. I'd like to be in Japan at some point. I have a fan base there, as well as in Europe, but I've been to Europe and I haven't been to Asia yet. So, and I heard at some point there was an HMV there that had a life-size Donn T, you know, in the record store, and I thought, okay, that's cool. So they like me now. I created a word, Grandmaphonica, which is the title of my forthcoming EP, due November 10th, just in a week or so. So Grandmaphonica is a mixture, in my mind, it exists as gramophone, like a gramophone or phonograph, Victrola, and kind of what is retro and vintage, meeting electronica, what is future, and that's how I came up with my EP, Grandmaphonica, because it does encompass so much in the way that as an artist I embrace a lot of genres. Just let it go. Okay, the writer of that question does believe my brother does believe that my brother has the best afro of all time, and I would agree. But I have a pretty strong afro, you know, when I set it free. But yeah.